Oh my. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. A Kobe Bryant patch autograph. Woo! Number 4 of 10.
How is it going, everybody? And welcome back to my channel, Kobe Cards. For those of you who have not noticed yet, my community tab is now live. YouTube enabled community posts for my channel, which means that on days that I am not posting videos, I can continue to provide content, motivation, additional insights, or news that I may not be talking about in these videos, or even use it as a way for me to interact with all of you and take feedback or suggestions. And this video is going to do exactly that. I am listening to all of you. A little over a week ago, I posted a poll for all of you, which would determine what video I would prioritize creating and releasing. And I gave the options of a Kobe card review, a PSA submission video, reviewing my trade history, a mail day, and reviewing my eBay purchase history. I left it for a week, and the highest vote getter was for me to let you know what Kobe cards I submitted as my first ever PSA submission. As I did mention in the poll, this is just me talking about what I previously submitted. The cards are not actually back yet, but I'm going to walk you through what cards I submitted and why I chose to submit those Kobe cards. A little bit of context. Prior to this, I have never submitted cards to any grading company in my entire life. It was never even something I considered, especially as a young kid and thinking back like 20 years ago or whenever I started this journey. Card collecting for me, and probably a lot of people, was purely just fun and enjoyment. I look at my cards today, and I know for the most part, they are not in the shape I'd like them to be. Because as a kid, I surely, fiddled around and played with them and was constantly sorting and organizing and moving cards around and just doing whatever my imagination had in mind for those cards. After Kobe passed, obviously everything changed, and it had to. I'm old enough now to know that I have a massive financial stake and investment with these cards, and it would be stupid to just ignore that. So even though it wasn't something I necessarily ever wanted to do, it's more so somewhat of a logical step. Beyond that, it would be stupid not to do it. It's a financially intelligent decision for me, thinking about my future, starting to integrate these cards as part of my life and my future. Obviously, the goal still is the same. I'm not going to sell any of these, but it's important maybe for my kids or grandkids or whoever it may be to have these cards in the best shape, in the best condition, and just have the collection in the most logical form of having this collection. So with that in mind, a few weeks after Kobe passed, I really started putting a lot of these cards under a figurative magnifying glass, and I decided to make my first submission to PSA of 15 cards. And because this was my first ever submission, and being a massive Kobe collector, I'm going to walk you through my complete mindset and methodology for these 15 cards and why I decided to choose those 15 over anything else I had. And 3, 2, 1, boom! On the screen right now, this shows the 15 cards that I submitted to PSA. Let's dive in. I'm going to be breaking this video down into 3 categories of 5 cards each. Category 1, rookies. If you look at the top 5 cards in rows 2 through 6, you will see I submitted the 1996 Collector's Edge Key Craze, the 1996 Collector's Edge Base, the 1996 Fleer Ultra Base, the 1996 Collector's Choice Base, and the 1996 Fleer Metal Cyber Metal rookie cards. Logic for the rookie cards were as follows. These are cards that date back to 1996, right? I likely have had these in my collection for decades. I mentioned at the beginning that the longer I have the cards, the more susceptible to damage they are. It's plain and simple. The more you recase or change the way they're stored or put them in different conditions or elements, it changes things. Elements and time cannot possibly do anything but maintain or degrade the cards. They can't improve it. So with that in mind, I took the 5 rookie cards that I believed were still in somewhat decent condition, and I'm getting those slabbed. Once they have a grade on it, no matter what happens, as long as they stay in the PSA case, they will always be that grade. My expectations for those 5 is that hopefully they'd come back in any form of 8s, 9s, or 10s. I didn't submit anything that I thought would get a 7. Hopefully not. Therefore, these are cards that I felt like the value would be sort of improved by having a number grade locked in on them permanently. To give you an idea of something I did not do, to prove a point, let me get one card. This card right here. So this is an example of a card that I did not submit to PSA. You will see the corners are as white as snow. You will see that, the edges just all along it. I mean, I might as well have applied whitening toothpaste. It is so white. And obviously, this card right here, the 1996 Upper Deck Kobe, is a card that I decided not to submit. And for logical reasons. If I was PSA, I would be ashamed if for some formality of a reason, like if it had good centering, I had to give this card anything higher than a 1. Like, it's a 1. That's how bad it is. It looks like as a kid, I played hopscotch on this card, jumped on it a million times, brought it into the pool with me, decided to go swimming, and then put it in the microwave with my dinner to make sure that Kobe was keeping my food safe. Like, that's how bad this is. You get the idea. The point is, the cost of $11 or whatever it would be to grade it, the card is just better off being as it is. It's better off being a memento of my childhood and lifelong collection as opposed to an investment piece. The value certainly would not go up as a result of this card. So now we are going to go on to category 2. Category 2 is Pop 1s. There were 5 cards of mine which had never been submitted to PSA before, and because of that, I wanted to be the first and create that population. These 5 cards include the 2001 Upper Deck MVP Respect the Game, 2007 Upper Deck Artifacts Exclusives, a 2009 Upper Deck Base Error or Misprint card, the 2012 Black Friday base, and the 2016 Panini Threads Swingmen card. Now, of course, when creating a population, there's a few things to keep in mind. Obviously, the upside is the fact that no population had been created prior, so it's likely not the most common card out there to grade. But the reason of why the population isn't there and the reason why people aren't grading it is important to consider too. I'll start with the 2016 Swingmen card. This card isn't confirmed to have a specific odds breakdown, but I'm going to assume that you pull 2 of these kind of insert cards per case, or 1 in every 10 boxes. And at the end of the day, with 20 players in the set, you're looking at finding this Kobe card maybe 1 in every 200 boxes, or 10 full cases. That said, the population on something like this isn't just low because people don't want to grade it, it's low because it's nearly impossible to find. For reference, there have been 0 of these sold or listed on eBay in the past 3 months in their search history. Don't have it? Good luck trying to get it. The Artifacts Exclusives, the Upper Deck Error card, and the Upper Deck MVP Respect the Game inserts are the next step down from that. They are obtainable, there are some listings online, and there could be potential competition in the future. With that in mind, you really want to be sure you aren't creating a population just to create it. Because if your card comes back in 8 or a 7 or anything like that, someone else can just submit theirs in slightly better condition, get a 9 or a 10, and now not only are you not Pop 1, but you're not even the top population grade either. So these 3 cards that I submitted were surely 9 or 10 condition all day, and I felt pretty confident about them. Lastly was the Father's Day card. This doesn't get a lot of love, mainly because it isn't a popular set. The goal here was simply just to get a 10, slab it, and therefore it can't get trumped in the future. The 10 may not, make the value of this card go through the roof. Like, it's not going to go from a $3 card to a $200 card. Maybe, who knows? But I'm creating the population with the mindset that if it gets that 10, it's going to be at the top spot forever. Even if there's 10 more that come in and it's a population 11, I'm still 1 of 11. And the value won't go down with this card being a 10. It'll surely make up for what I paid in it at the very least. And at the end of the day, I did have a few other cards I could have submitted to be Pop 1 too, but I submitted these 5 in my first go because I actually did believe they were the best conditioned cards of the bunch. So I'm hoping to create Pop 1s and get 9s and 10s across the board at least. And finally, the last 5 cards and moving into category 3. Category 3 is really straightforward here, 10s. That's it. I have a lot of decent cards, but these 5 cards for me were cards that I just looked at and they seemed so perfect and spotless and flawless that they seemed like easy 10s, and therefore they deserve to be slabbed right now. These 5 cards were the 2000 Upper Deck Black Diamond, 2008 Upper Deck First Edition Star Quest Green, 2008 Topps Base. Yes, this is the one with LeBron on it, and I didn't even realize that until after I sent it. And then 2 of the 2012 Panini Past and Present Reigning Threes insert cards. I'm not going to lie, despite me thinking that these were easy 10s and somewhat mindlessly submitting them, I'm not just sweating bullets, I'm sweating pretty heavy, gigantic steel bullets right now. Because to put it in perspective, when I submitted the Topps card back in the first week of February, I mean, you guys are going to laugh. If you're looking at the values I put on the right-hand side of the paper, I put the 2008 Topps card with a LeBron on it as $100. And that was my expected value of it if it came back at 10. I highballed that one because that was one of the ones that I thought was a surefire 10. And to be honest, that's because that's what it was worth at the time. I am not kidding. I wasn't sweating over it at the time. It was in line with a lot of other cards at PSA 10. But right now, this card certainly could fetch over $600. The market keeps going up, and what I threw in as a somewhat good conditioned card and marking it as $100 post-grade expectations, this is now possibly a $600 or more card with even more future potential after that. Also, I mean, you look at the 1996 Fleer Cyber Metal rookie I marked as $60. Well, even if that just came back as a PSA 8, that's worth $150 now. So it would be 2.5 times what I marked it as since February. What would it be if it was a 10, you ask? Oh, just a mere $1,200 at least. Just a modest 20x above what I declared it for 6 months ago. No biggie. With that in mind, I'm just giving you an idea of how the market has played out. This submission could have implications of many, many thousands of dollars, far beyond the $1,050 I declared back in early February. So with that, that was my submission. Wish me luck. Let me know if you have any thoughts, comments, or questions or feedback about my first submission. More than happy to talk more about it, answer any questions you may have about why I was or wasn't looking at certain things. But at the end of the day, that was my first submission. But with that, we are going to wrap up this video here. If you are enjoying my videos and my tribute to Kobe, I hope you consider subscribing so you can follow along as we continue our journey to remember and celebrate the life and career of Kobe Bryant. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time with more Kobe cards.